for staying with us. Now, parents are strongly cautioned against physically punishing or verbally insulting their children for poor exam results, as these actions can have significant, lasting negative effects on a child's well-being and academic future. Now, reacting harshly to exam failure can lead to a range of severe emotional and psychological problems, which often worsen rather than improve academic performance. Now, in studio, we are joined, that is, by the National Organization of Parents in Education, Acting Secretary for Information, Communication and Publicity, Salome Kambala. Ms. Kambala, thank you so much for taking time to join us this morning.
Thank you, and good morning.
Thank you so much. Now, firstly, we've seen the viral trending video of the young boy being made fun of, being shamed about his poor results. What do you make of that act, and how concerning is this?
As a national organization of parents in education, that video which was running on social media did not make us happy. It is something which we condemn. We join other stakeholders who have condemned that atrocity against a young person. First of all, we would like to remind all the parents that a child, if they have failed, it does not mean the end of everything. There's a way on how you can be able to speak to your children who are facing failure. You use wisdom. So as parents, we were supposed now to find a method on how you bring your child on board so that you can sit them down and look into the situation of what caused the pain. The information you rely on as a parent, it has to be from a child itself. There's a way of how you approach them to say, okay, fine, you have failed grade 8 or grade 9. Let us look at the causes. What happened? Why did you fail? In a very, very polite way of finding out. So the video which we saw running up and down on social media, where a parent is actually wanting even to touch the child using some form of beating, it is not called for, because you are making it worse. You are making it worse. That child will never, 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 never be open to you anymore, so that you can share what causes the failure.
Of course, you put emphasis there on how this particular acts make things worse for the child, but what are the documented, let's say, long-term emotional and maybe psychological damages that these children can experience when they are beaten or insulted for failing exams?
First of all, because of your approach as a parent, by using vulgar languages, calling the child stupid, all that kind of things is unnecessary. The damage is even huge than failing one exam, because that child, you are creating an immoral situation within them. They will be able now to develop an attitude of sort of protecting themselves, whereby they will just be quiet and not sharing information anymore. In the long run, that child is going to be damaged psychologically. You will feel low. He won't be able to communicate with other students. They will develop a certain point where they want to defend themselves because of the intimidation. And there's no need as parents for us to shame the children when they fail. Fail is part of development. It's part of development. The child can fail this year, and it depends on how we parents have spoken about it towards the child, so that we can help them to pass the next exam, but not by condemnation, not by beating, not by speaking vulgar languages. All those things are not necessary.
I mean, you spoke about the wisdom approach that the parents should use, and parents having to change their tone when they speak to the child who has, performed poorly in their exams. But what has your organization, or how does your organization plan to educate parents, to implement these approaches, the recommended approaches that you highlighted earlier, and the guidance, therefore, to change the cultural norms that sometimes accept, the physical punishment?
Yeah, as an organization, we approach parents to work together with us. They are our stakeholders because it's an organization that represents parents in education. And therefore, our plan on how we can be able to educate parents is, for example, to make workshops in future so that we engage the parents to tell them that, you know, raising a child is more than one parent. We belong to communities. We belong to constituencies. Gone the days which used to be, for example, saying a child when they are growing in a certain community, the responsibility is shared. It's shared in the neighborhood. It's shared in the constituency where you belong. It's shared at school because we have school boards. The whole team together can be able to shape that particular child. And those are some of the things which we would like to enforce as NAOPE for parents to engage them, to make community meetings, for example. At a certain place, you organize people to come and then you share a word on how we get involved in our children's education and how we can be able to help, because a community raises children together, not only one house, but together as a community. You can put effort and then raise the children who belongs to that particular community.
Ms. Kambala, just to take you back to something that you highlighted earlier, in addition to that, in terms of parents' criticism and the anger, you know, how does this affect the parents and child relationship, and perhaps does it can this lead to a child also just developing some sort of depression and anxiety?
Yes, that's a good question. When you use vulgar languages, you know, on a child, they'll feel belittling. They will feel like they are useless. And that will work already. It goes straight to the brain. And then they will start developing some psychological aspects of reserving themselves, not even communicating with mom and dad. Whenever they are calling you to communicate, you can notice some of the behavior are not on par. And the relationship between parents and that child, it becomes very, very poor. The child will start developing, you know, some protection manners so that they protect themselves in their own space. And then you as a parent, because it's your child, when you are calling that child, sometimes they don't even respond. And then you get more angry because you think the child is not behaving well. But it's you the cause. You are the cause by using vulgar languages, using bad words on a child. Because the words are so powerful. It's more than even failing exam. If you talk bad to your child every day using bad languages, those languages become part of the mental, you know, capacity of that child. It will never, never, never go away. Children from the young period of time, whatever you do to them, either is beating, either is insulting them, calling them different names, it's stuck in the brain and it will form part of the growing of that child.
But Ms. Kambala, in the case of when a child is ill-disciplined and does not want to study, doesn't want to learn, how can parents navigate through that then?
First of all, we found out the causes. What is causing that? Maybe as parents at home level, we are giving those children too much work to do. The child is saying that I would like to do my homework, but as a mother and father, you are giving them to pound on mahangu, or you are sending them to the shop, or you are doing A, B, C, D. So that child now, you are contributing to the failure at the end of the year for that particular child. The best way is to enhance communication. Communication is the best way. And the polite language. You can always invite the child and say, my dear, where do you think you are feeling even failing in your subject? Earlier in the year, January is the first month in a year's life of schooling. So you call them, sit down. Where do you failing? Where are you not understanding very well? You as a parent also, you have a role to play, not only the teachers. And therefore, if a child is very indisciplined, they don't want to listen, they speak back to you, they are always running to, places, you really have a problem. But invite that particular child, sit down with them and say, no, you know that you are a child who is created by God, and God loves you. Sometimes we should use the word of God to help the child to come in line.
And pray for them.
And pray for them as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just on what the the law says, does Namibia's Child Care and Protection Act specifically outlaw corporal punishment in the home, and what are the legal ramifications, for parents who violate this for disciplinary reasons?
Yes. Act number 3 of 2015, it speaks child protection. There's no corporal punishment at school. Namibia doesn't practice that. And even at home, we're not supposed to be beating our children, no matter what they have done. You just correct them by verbally speaking to them. And therefore, that act speaks about protections of a Namibian child. It speaks about the well-being of a child growing, because we normally say our children are the future leaders of tomorrow. Now, if we start at school, we are beating them. We come home, we are punishing them with bad languages and everything like that. So how are they going to be the leaders of tomorrow? That means we are shaping children to grow adults, and they are going to be violent. And that's why the Act number 3 of 2015 speaks so much on the protections of the child. The child should have a shelter, the child should have food, the child should have clothes. All those are stipulated in the Protection Act. And therefore, as parents, we need to know those things so that we know our guide and where to end when you are angry with your own child.
Absolutely. Ms. Kambala, just finally, before we let you go, what support systems, or any helplines can parent and children access through your organizations regarding this particular matter?
This can work both for parents and children. If you are a child and you are facing havoc at home, and your parents are treating you very, very bad, there are ways on how you can come out of that situation. If you are in the village, report to your neighbor. See in your community which woman you can be able to feel free to talk to so that you can share. And then we have Lifeline as well. You can call. And then we have social workers who are employed by government. They are there to protect children as well. We know there are some children who are suffering peacefully. They don't know where to go, and at the end, they'll take their life. Suicidal in our country is very, very high. I was reading one magazine which is telling us Namibians, and that's a wake-up call, to say Namibia apparently is the first country in the whole world in terms of suicidal. And we are doing that to our children. What would the child do if they feel useless? If they feel they are not contributing to anything, even in the house, they are spoken anyhow, they are told anyhow, they will take a shortcut and then be able to take their own life. Please, parents, as NAOPE, we are encouraging you parents to use good language. This is a season where we are going for Christmas. Peace, peace, peace in our home is the way to go.
Thank you so much for your contribution and time and information this morning, Ms. Kambala, and all the best with you.
Thank you very much. That's one point I wanted to emphasize. NAOPE is a national organization of parents in education. It is not a political party. We are trying to come in and help the government so that we can work together, because we realize as parents that we have got NANTU, which stands for take care of the teachers. We have school boards in the communities, and we have the teachers. Now the parents were nowhere to be found, and that's why we formed now National Organization of Parents in Education. It is not a political party at all. I think we have to emphasize that.
Ms. Kambala, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you
so much for joining us.